Hi there. I'm just coming up to 6 weeks and 100 hours of hyperbaric oxygen therapy. So I thought now would be a really good time to just stop and do a quick update because the last 2 weeks have been really quite interesting to say the least. So since my last update, I have basically been herxing pretty relentlessly and pretty brutally. The hyperbaric chamber is doing exactly what it's meant to do, in that it is taking the biofilms off the Lyme bacteria, it is bringing it out of its hiding places, and it is healing my immune system. So as a result, my body and the antibiotics are now killing the Lyme, which is in turn making me feel incredibly unwell. That's what a herx is. As the bacteria dies, it dumps its toxins into you, and that makes you very unwell. So these last 2 weeks I have been, actually I can't mince it, I've been incredibly unwell. It's ebbed and flowed rather than stopped and started, which is very unusual for me. Some days I've walked around, I guess, looking okay-ish, but actually still with a low-grade fever, splitting headache and upset stomach. But then at its worst, we've had 2 nights where Chris, my husband, has seriously contemplated calling extra medical support because I've been so unwell. One night in particular, I had an incredibly high fever. The pain in my head, I couldn't actually, if you gave me a scale of 1 to 10, it was 11 or 12. It was off the scale. I literally just wanted to whimper. And I couldn't move my head, I couldn't move my neck, I couldn't move my eyes. I just was in so much pain. And we did have significant concerns for a couple of hours because those are the symptoms of Lyme meningitis, which is very serious. So it was a very scary night. But by about 4 or 5 in the morning, I started to feel a little bit better. So we reasoned it wasn't obviously Lyme meningitis, it was just a really, really mega bad herx. So it has been very rough, at times quite scary. And the age-old question has come up, do you push on or do you draw back? Because when you're herxing very badly, you've got a choice. You push on with the treatment or you pull back from the treatment. Now, in this situation, I definitely pushed it to the furthest I could push it. Had I got an ounce sicker, I would have had to have stopped. With 2 quite frightening nights and really that ill. But I made the decision to keep pushing on because the reality is, if Lyme treatment is working, in my case, it makes me ill. Anything that works makes me ill because anything that works kills the Lyme. As the Lyme dies, it makes me ill. And I really kind of had a cold night of, do I just draw back and have a couple of days off? But then I reasoned, if it's working, I don't want to stop. You know, if you're over the battle line and you're winning, is not the time to retreat. So I pushed on, and I found it quite hard, and I got quite grumpy about pushing on, particularly in this heat. We're in the middle of a heat wave. It's been in the 30s, so pushing on with a fever in a hyperbaric chamber that is running hotter than outside. So I've been lying in a hyperbaric chamber that's been running at 34, 35 degrees inside with a fever. It's really pushed me. It has really pushed me. But coming out the other side of it, I'm really glad I did. So again, this has been a good herx. So coming out the other side of it today, I feel better than I did before that herx started, which is just phenomenal. It means that herx is killing infection as hard as it's been, and I have really had to dig my nails in and keep going. It has been worth it, and this treatment is working. So today I'm feeling not well by somebody else's standards. This is Lyme, but well for me. And so I'm really encouraged. I'm really encouraged that this hyperbaric treatment is doing everything that we wanted it to do. And so I'm keen to just kind of keep pushing on and seeing what happens. Interestingly, I'm also at a change in my main treatment. So I have been on combination antibiotics for a few months again since my last relapse, and I'm coming off them, and I'm going to go on to a pulsing protocol where they stop and start the antibiotics with a herbal regime around it. The idea being that the Lyme is drawn up and out, and then the antibiotics come in and kill it, and then there's time for my body to heal before it goes again. So it's going to be interesting to see how my body copes. Last time we tried to come off the combination antibiotics, I relapsed hard and fast and brutally within 2 weeks. So this is going to be a real test to see how my body copes without the antibiotics for several weeks at a time before they come in. So that's going to be really interesting. The other thing that has been fascinating actually just in these last 2 weeks has been using some of the adjunct therapies. So when I was looking at hyperbaric oxygen therapy, I spoke to quite a few professionals, medical professionals, marine engineers, and there were some things that were mentioned again and again and again as being really good kind of complementary adjunct therapies to come alongside the HBOT. The first one was hydrogen water. And so I bought a hydrogen flask, which basically splits the oxygen off the hydrogen in the water so that you end up drinking free hydrogen molecules. And I have found that an absolute godsend. That has really helped with the GI stuff that's come with this Herx, because with Herxing comes, for me, I get stabbing stomach pains and terrible upset stomach, and that's really helped settle that. The other one that I've literally just brought in during this Herx has been the molecular hydrogen gas machine. Same science, takes water, splits the hydrogen off the oxygen, but then turns it into gas, which you breathe through a nasal cannula. So you're breathing an oxygen hydrogen mix. And that has been absolutely phenomenal in dealing with the headaches. Some of these headaches have been excruciating. I've tried emergency nasal sprays, I've tried everything, nothing has touched them. But the molecular hydrogen gas has been really good. So it's taken the pain kind of down from a sort of 7, 8, 9 down to a 2, 3, 4, which has been amazing. I mean, nothing would touch it on the nights when I was really bad, but during the day when it's not been quite so bad but still very bad, that has really, really helped. So that's been great, and I'm a big fan of that now, and we'll continue with that. And then finally, somebody recommended a pulse electromagnetic field mat, which helps re-regulate your nervous system and bring healing. And it's basically, depending what frequency you set the pulses at, it does different things in your body. And it sounds a bit woo-woo, but there is actually some really good research behind it. It really does work, and in many countries it's actually used in mainstream hospitals. So I got one of those and was a little bit skeptical, even though I did read the research on it. But that has really helped me with inflammation, headaches, and also kind of keeping my nervous system in rest and digest. So when pain levels get to a certain level, my nervous system kicks up and I end up with tachycardia and a lot of adrenaline, and it just kind of puts me into fight and flight. And where the PEMF mat has been amazing, has been in keeping me in rest and digest, which is really helpful, because when you're in pain, the last thing you need is a lot of adrenaline. But it's also really helped me sleep. Sleep is something that's quite elusive for me, battling Lyme disease, and I've definitely noticed a difference. The days I do my PEMF mat, I sleep so well and it's undisturbed, and then the nights I don't sleep so well. So 3 extras that I wasn't actually looking for when I started this journey that were recommended to me, and thankfully, because of the amazing people that helped crowdfund, I was able to buy, which have really supported me and helped me through this Herx. So yeah, been a really challenging couple of weeks, but ultimately a really awesome couple of weeks, because this is all showing that this treatment is working. It is killing the infection that the antibiotics had failed to kill on their own, and I am filled with hope going forward into the future. So I will leave another update when I've got something worth saying, and yeah, hope you guys are well, and I will catch up with you again later.